Hi there, Susan Fleischman here with ZTV in our continuing series highlighting the amazing nonprofits here in Alexandria and who are participating in this year's Spring to Action by Act for Alexandria. I'm joined today by Joan Singer, the music director of QuinTango. Joan, welcome.
Thank you, Susan. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, well, I'm glad to have you here. Why don't you, let's begin by you telling us a little bit about QuinTango. I love the name. What is it you do?
As you can probably figure out, originally we were 5 people playing tango.
Okay.
We asked the kids this in our elementary school programs, and amazingly, they can figure it out often. So, 5 of us got together to play tango because I had fallen in love with this music, and this was over 20 years ago. There was no tango music being played in this area. And since then, we have grown. Every year we grow as we get different personnel in and as we learn different repertoire and as we take advantage of the different talents that come into our group. So recently, we got so involved with the Alexandria City Public School System. We do, as you're looking at a picture of the tango and soccer program that we have at Tucker Elementary. We haven't been able to do it for the last 2 years, but it's one of our favorites where we pair our wonderful tango bandoneon player, Argentine guitar player with soccer and with dance. So teaching immigrant kids on the West End how sports and music align and the qualities that they need to do well in both is one of our great accomplishments at Tucker. And we love the kids there and we love the schools. So, in addition to Tucker, we work with strings throughout the school system. This year we've been concentrating on T.C. Williams and George Washington and Hammond, and we've worked with the music teachers there. Before
Wow.
COVID, we worked at Beatley Library with ESL students and seniors from the West End, and we taught them tango dance.
How
And then we all
fun.
sat down and had lunch, and we all had conversations so they could practice their English and get to know their neighbors.
Oh,
So,
what a wonderful program that
yeah,
is. I
it
mean,
is.
bringing music into people's lives. What could be better? And dance. I think that's fantastic. What can you speak to kind of the specific challenges that your organization faced in 2020?
Oh, well, like all arts organizations, our organization literally shut down on March 11th, 4 days after we'd had a sellout concert and a fabulous reception. We learned about COVID like everybody else, kind of wham bang.
I'm so
Suddenly
glad you
our
got that
calendar was
concert and
wiped out.
reception in, though. I
It was a
mean, talk about
miracle.
timing.
We didn't know. We were
Yeah,
totally innocent, and we'd been
right.
on tour in Mexico the month before, and not a we had never thought of it. So our calendar was wiped out, our income was wiped out. All of our concerts were canceled, as they were for every performing arts group. So that was a huge challenge. We could not get together to rehearse. We had
Yeah,
to figure out how to make our group continue to thrive because we rely on getting together and helping each other out and being that small intimate community that a music group is. And
yeah,
suddenly we had to figure out how to have meetings on Zoom, which have
yeah.
been a salvation, I must say.
Yeah, I know. It's the answer everybody, hates to love.
I
So,
know.
it really is. And how did Spring to Action? I know you participated in it last year. How did that help you, you know, address some of these challenges, and what kind of an impact did the donations make?
It had such a huge impact for us because we had no income. And at first, I was a little reluctant to ask people to donate to us because we're talking about life and death, food on the
Right.
table. And then I realized my musicians, they're part of that life and death. They couldn't put food on their table, they couldn't pay their rent. So they're part of the group that we're helping. So I focused last year on saying every penny you donate to this Spring to Action goes to our musicians. It gives them work. It gives them work in the schools. It gives them work on new things that we're doing. We initiated a poetry and tango initiative, and we wrote music with poems from Guest House, thanks to Hurd, who also partnered with us on that. We've worked with that in T.C. Williams since. And so we came up with a lot of new programs, but we could only do that because of the money that was donated to us in Spring to Action, because it enabled us to give a monthly stipend to our musicians so that they could keep working on our projects throughout the year, so that they also had continuity in the group and in the work that they're doing. So
Wow.
that has been the silver lining for us. We have expanded our reach. We've expanded our partnerships. Behind me, I have a picture from India. That's because we now have a partnership in India, because we had the time to explore the things that were thrown
Wow.
in front of us. We would never would have had that time without
Right.
COVID.
Right.
So
Silver lining in that
lemonade.
nasty cloud. Exactly. Exactly right. Um, well, it's just fantastic. I mean, what a wonderful story, and it's I mean, in a challenge. You know, I'm always amazed and so impressed by the creative innovation that all these organizations like yours have done. You know, what can we do? I mean, we're stopped with business as usual. What can we do moving forward? You know.
And let me just say one thing. One thing we realized is that our fans were as bereft of us as we were of them.
Hmm.
And suddenly we had to find ways to reach them. We couldn't give a concert and have them come. So we initiated monthly Zoom happy hours. So we have about 40 people that gather once a month from all over the world. This is the silver lining. You know, it can be a global happy hour.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we play music for them, we talk to them, we share a glass of wine, we catch up, and it's actually strengthened our community in amazing ways.
Oh, I love to hear that, Joan. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you have moving forward? And I would imagine continuing that is one of your goals. But I'm going to ask you about. Do you have other specific goals laid out for 2021?
Well, yes, we do. We are hoping to finally have the Unity concert that we have tried to have we tried to have it last year and it didn't work out. So we're going to try this year. And this is a vision of mine. I want to take all these wonderful Alexandria musicians that we work with in the public schools from the East End, from the West End, and have them all come together and play in one orchestra, play the same piece of music, not one orchestra and then another orchestra. And I want the adult musicians in this wonderful city of music and art come and play with us. And many of them have in our past school concerts they've sat in, and we want to increase that. So we have a mentoring orchestra that brings all ages together, that brings all the students together, and that we do it in a public place so that all of Alexandria can come together and celebrate the fact that finally we can get together, even if we're socially distanced, even if we're masked. I think we can do this, and I'm hoping we can do it in June. If we can't, we'll do it in September.
Oh, there you go. I like it. I think and that sounds great. I want to know when it is because I want to go. How can donors or the community help support you and to reach that goal, but also just to offer support in general?
Ooh, well, come to the things that we do in Alexandria. We have our school concerts, which QuinTango always performs about a 20-minute set in our program that we do with the Alexandria schools. And then we bring the students on stage and perform with them. And a lot of people come from the community. That's a great way to support music in Alexandria, not just QuinTango, but music in Alexandria and the kids that have put their hearts and souls all year into learning music.
Yeah.
An audience is the most important thing
It
for a
is. It is. And
musician.
those kids getting to perform in front of an audience, I mean, honestly, it's a dream come true. And for some of them, it's just really what's their appetite for what can be.
But what's important when you do that, I think, is that you see the arc of music. You see kids. We have our young kids playing. All right, so that they don't sound great,
Hmm.
but they're excited, and then you see the next level, and you see it's starting to sound like music, like real music, and then we
Yeah.
all play together. And last time we did it, somebody came up to me at the end and said, well, I don't know what kind of orchestra this is, but it sounds as good as the National Symphony to me. This was the GW Orchestra. Now, he wasn't a music critic, but the
Right.
point was it was the excitement that the kids put into their performance that he got.
Sure,
That was the
absolutely.
important thing,
Yeah,
heart to heart.
it is an amazing step up from elementary school concerts to that first middle school concert. My kids were, in music in elementary school, and those concerts
Yeah,
are, they're all trying really, really hard. They're very earnest. But boy, you go to the middle school concert and you're blown away by this is just such an improvement.
absolutely.
All that rehearsal really does pay off. Of
And
all their practicing.
we have wonderful music teachers in Alexandria.
Yeah,
Wonderful,
absolutely.
for
Yeah, they get a
which
lot
we
of
should be
support.
very thankful. Yeah.
We are.
So we love to
Um,
support them.
well,
We can
that's
always
great.
use a volunteer. Anybody that wants to volunteer to help us, there are a million things. We're an organization that is 6 musicians. We do it all. We don't have
Okay.
an executive director. We don't have a campaign fundraiser. It's just us. So
Yeah, you're
if you can make a donation, if you want to be in touch with me and help us out, that's great. We can always
good.
find something and join our family. We
Absolutely.
are
That
a
sounds good.
community-based organization that uses music to create community. That's what we do.
I
So
like
come
it.
be part of our community. That's the best thing you could do for us. We'd
I
love to
like
get to
it.
know more people.
Fantastic. And please, if you're watching this video, the website, I did a typo. It's quintango.com, not .org.
Yeah,
So
right.
quintango.com. And uh, what a wonderful organization you have, Joan. I can see why you're so passionate about it. It's just fantastic. And
I am. I love it.
I know. I can tell. It's infectious. I want to ask you a final question. I want you to repeat after me and fill in the blank. I spring to action because.
I spring to action because music is the most powerful thing in the world, and I want to spread it around.
Perfect. I love it. And we're here to help you do that. So, everybody, QuinTango.com is in Spring to Action 2021 in this year's Giving Day, which is April 28th. Joan, thank you so much for your time. It was what a pleasure talking to you, and good luck to you.
Thank you. It was a
Okay,
pleasure,
take care.
Susan.
Sure thing.
Ciao. Bye.